Hey everybody, welcome back to Jay and Nicole's Learning Lab. Today, we are going to maybe help you guys. Um, Instead of having a Google Drive for this, a folder for that, lesson memos here for each student, we might have something that can help you out and put everything in one single place and maybe save you some time.
Yes, the overwhelm is real sometimes with where we've got everything just spread out everywhere. I mean, I know teachers who do half of their accounting when paper, the other half is online, and then you've got like
Google
this cloud and that
spreadsheets.
cloud and
Yeah.
or you don't want to pay for something so you open up the same thing in 15 different email accounts. We all do
Mhm.
that. And I mean, because you guys remember we had talked about we onboarded just a zillion students at one time
Right,
in one
right,
school,
took
right?
out tw I don't even know the number, 25 to 30 students.
Yeah, that's what it was, and each of us, not, like, collectively, like,
Right,
each, plus our own students that we already had in various different areas, and it all of a sudden hit a breaking point for both of us where we realized that while our accounting was solid, it didn't work with the volume that
right,
we had.
it's just you know, we both tried using, Google Keep. That's a no.
Spreadsheets.
That's
Yeah.
spreadsheets, but Google Keep kind of to organize your daily, what you have to do. Google Spreadsheets for me, I only used for package tracking, um, but we have something that allowed us to put everything into one place.
Oh,
Um,
was it powerful?
yeah. And but before we go any further on that, I've got to say that the system I have that I gave to Nicole wasn't my original idea on how to set it up. I had help from somebody as well. We're not going to go through how to set that up, but tune in tomorrow to Jillian's live because I'm going to be setting up a teacher there. And if you have any
Nice.
questions, you can always ask me. All right.
Right, right. Yeah, I was completely overwhelmed to the point where it was like, I haven't done a database in forever. And I was like, there's no way I can spend the time to figure this out, even though I
Right.
have the knowledge. And I was like, I was too overwhelmed. So props to Jay for getting me up and running so I could then just, grab the
Yeah, it
handlebars from
took
there.
me, I don't know, I think would it take me 15, 20 minutes to have you in a usable state? Not
Yeah,
the end,
about
not
20.
your end state, because
No.
after that point, everybody's going to do something a little bit differently. But the students can even just go to their page and pay like they would on any web page now. They can just click pay and they give me money.
Exactly, and each one we have very similar setups, but we each
Mm,
have a different style and how we, you know, do things for our students, so we ended up personalizing a little bit more to each of
mhm.
our liking, but wow, the learning curve was real,
Yeah,
and I think that had more to do with the fact we had so many students at one time that
right.
we broke our system that we had, and then we had to rebuild it while we were
And
still doing all those new students.
Do you have all of your students in Notion now? I do. I have all mine
Yes.
in Notion. Everybody's in, except for the couple random ones that book a class like every 3 months. I just when somebody that's not in Notion books a class, then I move them in there. Um, uh,
Actually, everybody's there now. I finally got everybody in there, even all the
mhm,
little randoms I've got that from,
right.
various different places. So everybody's in there right now. I have a couple tweaks I want to make with some coding, but some formulas. But other than
Mhm,
that, yeah, everybody's in there and it's working really well. I actually just updated a couple of my templates to the final versions that are working
mm.
really well for me. So how do you
Now,
want to do it? I mean, we're going to tell you what it is. We haven't really given you guys an idea of what it is yet, but do you want to show like maybe one how we do our
go
pages
ahead.
different?
Go ahead. Show yours first. Go ahead.
Show mine first. Okay, so
Yeah,
I gotta open
we'll
this up.
show the we'll save the best for second.
Okay, the best for a second. Oh, did
It's
you?
not a competition though,
Oh, it's
but it
not.
is.
Okay, but it is, right? All right. I gotta go back to my home page here. So let me get back up here. All right, so I'll share my screen real quick. So I'll just run you through it real fast. Um, so what we're using is Notion.
Right.
And well, okay, don't get scared. It is a type of database, but it's not like, you have to sit there and code everything and stuff. It's a little bit easier than that, but still a learning curve. You're definitely going to want
Right.
help. So I have a homepage. So I have TCC, Teacher Cole's English Corner. And what I use is I actually start with a sticky board. So I do mine differently. I actually put all my students on tiles. And then I just move them daily. So you'll see that Saturday's missing because I did Saturday today. So in my sticky tiles, I'll bring them in, and this is what I work off for the day. And what I do is I just click on my student, and I have set up each student has their own page. Now, this is my view of the student. Um,
Right, they can't see this. They
no,
can't view the databases because there's no way to give them a filtered view where they only see themselves. That's
right?
everybody.
Ooh, and I hope this one doesn't have a
You're
picture.
getting that. So this happens sometimes in Notion. It kind of lags like this. It happens occasionally, a few times a week. Don't freak out because you haven't lost anything. It's just lagging.
No, I'm just trying to remember which students I have that don't have a picture on it. Anyways,
Yeah,
so we'll go with this one real quick. So this one it has there we go. You won't see a picture now. So I just have the student's name. This is a query for me, and I'll show you why later. This is her memo. This is how I do it. So I have little stickers here. The packages. Wow. Okay. It might be my internet on this one though, because my
I don't think
internet's
so. This looks like a Notion lag. For me, I just have to kill Notion and reopen it. If I'm not,
probably.
if I am in a spot where I can't be patient.
Yeah. But anyways, the student tracking, basically I bring up the student's name. Wow, this is a really bad example right now. Let me go to here and see if it'll bring it up. Okay, it brings this up. So this is the student's memo. I call it their memo, student memo center. So I have urgent notices, their time. This is actually the link to their Zoom account. I put students videos if they have them. Not all of them do. I put them in a replay and their drive. But anyways, here we can go down. Oh, this is I'm gonna have to let them look at yours. I'm gonna have to restart my Notion. This
Yeah.
is a bad example. Hold on. I'm gonna stop share so I can restart get off. It might be because I have two versions open. Let's see what I got going here. Let's see if I can open it back up.
Uh,
Let's see here. Daily students. Go back. Oh
okay.
yeah. My whole thing
So
is
here, I'll kind of go from the beginning with mine. So I've got a students page. This just lists all my students that I have. They're not really in any alphabetical order because you can't do it that way. So what I did was I created a student database which puts them all in alphabetical order for me. But this, honestly, I never look at these two pages unless it's a new student because then I have to put them in there. Um, when I use my daily student list, uh, and let's go to Emma and Sophie. So this is actually three kids, two twins, and then the older sister. Down here, I can see where all their classes were and where we're going on the next class. Up here, this mom bought 100 classes from me, so we have 67 classes left. Every time I enter a new class, I'll just put one here, I'll delete it later, and then put their package in there. Boom, it automatically subtracts. We're down to 66 classes now, but we'll just delete that entry. This works really well. Now the secret sauce. Now this in itself eliminates all your Google Sheets, all that nonsense, all your lesson memos right here because you could hand type memos in here however you want. But the secret sauce is AI. Um, AI, the AI piece is not free. You have to pay
no
for the business version. It's what is it?
one.
$20. $24,
$24.99, I
$4.
think.
Okay. So 24, $25. So it does a lesson memo summary for you, also gives you a transcript. And I'll be honest, sometimes I delete the transcript because maybe something came up in class that maybe I don't want the parents to know about, you know. Nothing nefarious, but just, like I had one student that told me he decided not to do his Chinese articles at the end of the school year because he knew they weren't going to be graded, blah, blah, blah. I didn't necessarily want his mom to read that. So, but anyways, the summary is the secret sauce. You get this. Usually, this is a student that I don't do this with because she doesn't have a real set curriculum. A lot of times we do like Ingu articles, but Nicole, what do you do if somebody's on set material? Go ahead and share your stuff.
Okay. So here, I'm gonna change the cover really quick so I can show you the student. I had to force quit my thing really quick.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna change this cover. There it is. Okay, so we changed the cover. All right, we're gonna go back up here. Oh, it's still loading. It's
Did
not
you
gonna.
kill it? You have to kill it
I
completely.
did. I killed it completely, and it is just not working for me tonight. All right.
What about the web version? Is that working?
Oh yeah, huh? I keep forgetting about that. I don't use that very often. NOT
You're not
Notion.
going to be inputting anything. You can show everything from there.
Yeah,
So,
I always forget about that. Let's see here. I'm gonna go back to that home page.
well, the only thing you
All right,
can't do on the web version is start your transcription. That's the only thing you can't do.
there you are. Okay, cool. All right, screen two. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna go to share. All right, cool. Yes. So I'm gonna go back here. So this is my students. Now, see, I have like he does. I do have a student list. I divided mine by the schools that I'm working for. So that's what I had done, right?
I didn't do that. I just put them all in together.
And I actually have icons that tell me where it is too. It's quick for me.
Hmm.
So I have my daily students, and see, it's still lagging for me. Also, look at that.
Yeah, that it puts the when you expand the Hoochie-majigger there, what happens? 7.5 25.
Oh, it
Expand it.
took it took off. It took out the whole thing. It's not here.
It'll bring it back. It'll bring it
There it
back.
is. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I changed out my student. All right. So I have like Jay. So I have an AI query here that I use, the memo times. I do the same thing. So here I can also add in, and it's going to take
Mhm.
off the packages just like you do. Although I'm going to have to delete that
This is
also.
the basics of what I think would really help any teacher with. If you have 10 students or less, you can continue on Google Sheets and whatever you're doing, and you'll be fine. It doesn't take that much time, but when you get 50, 60, 70, 80 students, it makes a difference.
Yeah. So I taught this student today, so I'm gonna copy this real quick and I'll show you what I do here. But so mine look a little different than Jay's because I have my own personal students that are on higher packages and they have some extra benefits. So here's their Zoom link I put here. This my students get a replay channel, and we still use the Google Drive for homework only. They have their payment buttons
Why are you doing that? Because you can put it right in here for them.
because I do a specifics with a PDF that I actually correct and stuff, and it has
Yeah,
the
but
free
you can
tools,
put that in there.
but it doesn't have the editing tools.
No, but you just open it and use the editing tools.
The Google Drive works really well for me.
Okay, fine. Do it the
It just
long way.
opens right there. And I haven't done that yet because I have to teach everybody how to use it. So we're still doing this for now
Mhm,
because then I have to create a whole video series for that.
mhm.
Trust me, we did the whole video series for Google already. But okay, so my students get their materials. So I use P Cloud. So they still have their links to all their materials down here. And I do toggles for their lesson plan. So my students have their lesson plan and their links in here. So this is how I do when they have dedicated materials. This is where I do. I use P-Cloud because it's a pay once for a lifetime
It
type of
works
deal.
in China too,
Yeah, it does. It works.
supposedly.
It
Just don't use
does.
WeChat.
Yeah, that. But like you said, the secret sauce, this is my memo from the
Right,
transcribe, is the AI. So I
right.
can open like today's, let's pretend today's the 6th. I can open the previous memo. You remember that query that I copied? I could stick that in here. And now it's going to tell me where I left off in the last lesson, and I don't have to look for it. And it gives me a short description of what we talked about. It makes it really easy for me to just, okay, that's our next lesson. No
Mhm.
problem. And this is what I do. I actually collapse and I create a duplicate, and that's it. It's
And
really simple.
the beauty of this is the parents can see this page. They can't see
Yes.
where all the packages are and everything, but they can you can give them a link for this page, and they can see the lesson memo a minute after the class is
Well,
finished.
let's view the site. This is the parent view.
Mhm.
This is exactly what the parent sees. So any
Right,
urgent, now I'm using a really wide screen, so it's really spread out. But parents see everything. They can toggle and see all of our lessons. They can actually get the transcript as well if they want it.
right.
Um, they get all of this, and it's really great because I just give them the one link. Their meetings are here. They're everything
Look
that
at
I.
that. They can pay right on their Notion page. There's a
Yep.
payment link. You can put a PayPal. I have both in mine. I have
uh,
PayPal and WeChat Pay in there.
I have PayPal also. This student doesn't have it, but
Right.
yeah, and it's all here in one place. It makes it really nice. They don't have to look for any of their links. Everything is in one dedicated location. Anytime anything changes, usually what I do, like what you do, is when their package gets too low, I'll just put a screenshot in here, and they can
Right.
see it right at the top. Urgent
Yep.
notices.
If when they get to 2 classes or less, I just put a screenshot of how many classes they have left, and, it's really saved me from having to chase parents down, for money,
Yes, a lot. And so, yeah,
and they really appreciate having this payment link right here because they don't have to ask me for a payment link either.
no, they don't. I'm trying to look if I have another student here, but I think it'll show up with a picture. Yes, some of these have pictures. This one doesn't. All right. Same thing with my other school. So they've got the same. Now, these ones I do, you put the student information in here for these particular students,
Mhm.
and I keep extra track of any notes. So I like to use the tiles on sticky notes. And that's what I do. And it works really well for me. It's kept me very organized. It took me about 2 weeks to really get comfortable with it.
Right.
But I have to say it's a big game changer.
Yeah.
I used to spend for just about anywhere between 6 and 8 classes. I would spend over half an hour preparing for classes.
Oh, yeah, an hour easily.
Easily,
An
hour
hour, yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Just, double checking where I left off, what materials I had. Some of my students do homework, most of them don't anymore, but some of them do.
Mhm.
It's just everything was in all these different places. And now it's like all in one place. I just do that little query. It tells me where I'm starting, gives me a quick summary of what we did. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now.
Right.
And then you saw that at the top,
Yeah,
I
and you
listed.
don't have to do that query. You can just go glance at the previous memo if you want.
Can,
Um,
yeah. I like the little summary because it helps me jog my memory. I have too many
yeah.
students. And yeah, I mean, like it tells me their package. So I know if they've got homework right away, I go look at their homework folder.
Mhm.
I'll probably be adding really where they can dump their homework in one place. But for now, they know that. So I just leaving it there.
Um, yeah, yeah, uh, I was gonna say they would have to use the they would have to have Notion to be able to drop it on that memo page. They would have to create
And
an
that's
account.
why I said it's a whole new learning thing because it wouldn't
Right,
be just giving them a link to the
right.
website. It'd be sharing the page
But
with
y
them.
but you can embed their Google Drive there.
Hmm.
You can
Yeah.
embed that, that would be fine. But, yeah, this is really it forced me to do something that I had been putting off for a long time, which was to straighten out my back office stuff, is to really, because I had a Google Sheet with 85 tabs, which is not a long term solution. It's fine if you have 10 students, it's fine. But I have 85 now, probably like more like 78 now. Um, but it's put that in one spot. And I'm going to be honest, I'm one of the teachers that doesn't give memos. Not that I don't want to, but I don't want to. It takes too much time. Now
It
I don't have
does
to
take a
do
lot of time.
anything. The only thing is sometimes I forget to click the transcribe button.
That took me a while to get used to doing because
Right.
I do have Zoom set up to automatically do them
Mhm.
for me, but I don't use the Zoom summaries
But I
except
don't
for
use Zoom
Sue.
for everything.
Neither do
You
I,
know,
not anymore.
it can't, because it can't do Koala Go. It can't do Class In. Um, and so I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore.
Well, I had debated using a transcription software that you can pay for because I
Mhm.
needed it in some of the others because I do use them. And this kind of solved my problem for everything because those
Oh yeah.
transcription software actually cost the same as Notion, and Notion gives me everything.
Yeah, and I didn't mention this. The Notion transcription works whether you're in Zoom, Tencent, Class In, Koala Go, and the other gamified platform that I won't mention anymore.
Right? It's
Right,
basically anything that you have
right.
going on, it just
Even
records.
even if you make a Viber call or a WhatsApp call, it will transcribe that and summarize it and everything.
If I remember right, and I'm going to be testing this soon, so I will let
Mhm.
you all know, but I have it on my phone, and if I remember right, I can actually click it on my phone and it'll do, like,
Yeah.
when I'm talking around my
Yeah.
phone, it'll transcribe.
Hold on, I got somebody at the gate. I gotta keep
Alright.
talking.
Alright, no worries. Of course, we didn't pause it, we do this like it's live, right? So yeah, no, this has been a huge game changer for me. I had most of my students on my website and they buy packages there and it does all the accounting and everything in one place. Now the majority of my students actually are not on my website any longer. And this is something I'm going to talk to Jay about is with something like this, do you really need a website? I have to admit that I'm going to wait for Jay to come back. I don't know if I want to pause or not. Should I pause or should I wait? All right. So why don't I show you a few things that I didn't show you before when it was lagging. So my Notion actually has popped up. So this is the app that you can use. And this is what we're doing for today. I created one for the episode, the podcast. So I put the podcast in here too. So over here on the side, I have my TCC homepage. Now you saw my sticky board. That's my personal system. That's what I like to use. I actually use sticky notes while I'm teaching as well. I do have my packages. So these are all of my students. And what I've done is I have made it where if they are two classes or less left on their package, it pops up with a payment due. And this was Jay's doing. He had taught us this. I have my platforms. So I get told right away when I have payments due. So I have some students that are being slow on some payments. Um, Student tracking, same thing. This one is alphabetized, so I can go up here and search
Sorry.
specifically. No worries. I'm showing the stuff that I was lagging on before that I'm showing it now. So I have the same thing also. I can put in notes. We can do the same thing just like Jay. And I do have my master list as
And these
well.
these are pages that we never look at, to be honest.
We don't look at them because what we do is we end up going to the actual student page
Right,
where we filter it. So that's
right,
just like the master page is what I call it, right?
right,
The master list, and we filter it each individually.
right,
And then each one of us has set up our memo pages with however it works for us. Now you'll
right,
notice I have two different versions. Mine is because my personal students are like this. I've had them for so long, I didn't need the student info pages. Whereas the newer students, they get the newer version with more extra details. So, I was talking while you were gone, And I had said that the reason why I needed this so much was because I have more students off my website than on my website now, which is strange because that's not happened for me in about 6, 7 years. So usually everybody buys on my website and I have tracking and payment package and all the packages are accounted there. But now most of them are off, and that's where my problem became. But now, right? Like,
Now you're in 3 different places, you
right?
know?
It was super crazy. Like it just was so difficult. And then it brought up the point of, do you need a website anymore as a teacher like what I have
I
if
closed
you
mine.
have this?
I closed mine. And you can actually set up your domain now to where it'll bring them to Notion. It'll
Wow.
bring them to Notion. You can I was looking at how to do that, and I may do that with my J Teaches domain. Direct it right I'll have to create a separate page for it, but
Direct it to a specific page with all of your
right,
information.
right. I may do that. I may do that.
That's what I'm thinking because I agree with you. My website is paid in advance for a couple years because I got discounts that way. It actually was
Mhm.
cheaper. But I will also be letting my page go because
Yeah,
I can do everything here that the
right.
really expensive website is doing and not as well.
And you don't have to pay for Notion to do that part. The
No,
only reason to pay for Notion
this
is
the
for the
AI,
AI.
the
That's it.
transcription.
That's it. And the AI, not only does it do the transcription, but let's say you don't know how to do something in Notion, you can ask the AI, it'll tell you. It'll tell you,
You can ask it after you get a couple students transcriptions, you can
right?
ask it to analyze your actual classes.
Right. Say, hey, what should
Make
I work on
suggestions.
in the next few classes with this fun student?
I mean, it's actually to the point now where I will be closing my ChatGPT account. I mean, I'll have the free version. I won't be doing the paid version anymore. You've let
Right.
yours go already.
Mine, yeah, it's still good till the 16th, but what I did was I switched over to Gemini because I pay for 2 terabytes of storage.
Yep,
So I
me
only
too.
had to pay an extra $10 a month to get Gemini, which I don't know. I can't tell the difference between any of them, except there's one good thing about ChatGPT is you get all those experimental GPTs to play with. You don't get that in Gemini, but everything else is Mox Nix.
I feel at this point that with everything that I'm getting with the Notion version, the
Mhm.
paid version, I can let go of ChatGPT and
Yeah,
just do the free version. And then there's Gemini and there's Claude.
Claude. Love
Yeah.
Claude. Love it.
Claude. I mean,
I
and
love
a
it.
lot of them give you enough free to
Right.
be able to run your classes. The only thing that I don't know if they do it for free anymore. The only thing that makes me hesitant is I do in some of my classes use the picture generation as part of a process for teaching active adjectives. And we do a project for that. And I have a class that does it every 2 weeks.
Why don't you just grab on the $10 a month Gemini? It's pretty
Does
good.
Gemini does the pictures also?
Yeah, Gemini. Yeah,
Then I'll do it there.
Gemini's pretty tight. I
I like Gemini on my phone actually. I know we're not supposed to be doing an AI podcast, which is something we probably should do, compare them in the future. There's an idea. But I will admit on my phone, Chat GPT sucks. It sucks so bad. Like the app doesn't work right. Like you try to do it through the web base and it just gives you
I'll
trouble.
be honest. I
Gemini
don't use it
works
on
like
my
a
phone.
dream.
I don't
Gemini
use
works
it
like
on
a
my
dream.
phone.
I do when I'm out and about. I'll ask it questions 'cause I don't like to type stuff because I don't like to wear my
The,
glasses.
the one thing that killed me about getting rid of ChatGPT was it's integrated into the Mac OS. So I still have the free stuff, which is like I said, the only reason I was ever paying for ChatGPT was because of the project folders.
Yeah, see,
That
that's
was
the
it.
thing
There
that's
was no
hard for
other
me.
reason for me to pay for it. There was no other reason for me to
I
pay
e
for it.
I should share my list of project folders. I mean, like, I have some serious heavy duty, like,
Yeah.
correlated stuff going on. I was doing some very heavy work, but I've changed my trajectory on my career and how I'm going forward, and I don't need
Mhm.
it anymore.
Now, I know I've done it. Have you created any lessons with the Notion AI?
Not yet. I did the podcast today, so I set up
Mhm.
that whole system. So what I did is I
Right,
took all the information from our project
right.
folder on chat and created for today's podcast so we could start that way. I have some classes coming up this week that I'm going to test it out.
I did it with a few, and these are easy classes to set up. They're not easy to teach, but they're easy to set. I did it with some IELTS classes. Uh,
Oh, did you?
it's fine. I mean, you don't even need AI for that. You can just go on to one of several million websites to pull down IELTS speaking information.
The only thing that is different for me is that my IELTS, when I do the IELTS, you clued me into that system, but I created a system that I have it already designed where it will automatically just pop out. If I give it a topic, it'll pop out a format for me.
Mhm.
But it should do that for me on the free version anyways.
Yeah, yeah, that won't. Yeah, I had to use another web because I don't like logging out of stuff when I'm logged in because I can't ever remember what account I used to log in with it. So I used another web browser and went to Chat GPT and had it make some things that I would typically ask it to make. It's fine. It's fine. The only thing Gemini can't do that Chat GPT can do that I really miss, Gemini won't actually create a PowerPoint for you. It'll say
Mm.
slide one, do this, slide two.
Ah, okay.
Chat GPT will actually create, they're black and white slides, but they're enough to get you started. Um,
So, I guess the solution here is, or the consensus is that while Notion isn't literally everything, let's be real. We didn't mention this though. The AI in Notion is beta.
right,
So it is learning. And I have a
right.
feeling the more people who use it, it's really going to catch up really fast and it's going to take over. I mean, I don't mean like take over Chat GPT, but I think it will be powerful enough where people are going to be like, you know what? I can do it all here. I'd rather pay for this than to pay for 15 different programs.
And I'm one of those people. I get buyer's remorse before I buy something,
Yep.
and I went through the pain of this, and then after the first two couple weeks is not easy. I'm not even gonna
No.
lie; it's really painful.
No.
It's gonna hurt. But after that, once you understand what your workflow is going to look like, well, it's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake.
It was 2 weeks of, like, it was hard, like, I had to go to work early just to be able to figure out, like, "What?"
What am
And,
I
like,
doing today? Right.
right? And then, like, the workflow is so different that I had to basically retrain the automation in my brain, of, like, you don't
Hmm.
think about it, you just go click, 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 right? But now I've got it down to a system the way the flow is for me.
Hmm.
I mean, I had okay, Saturday's a heavy day. You saw my tile. That was today's tile for
Hmm.
all of my students. I set all of those up in 25 minutes.
Right. It's
All of
a
those
piece of cake.
classes, all of them.
The night before, I take 5 minutes and I set my daily student list. And all I got to do is click on their name and I know what I'm doing the next day.
Yeah. And that's why I have the tiles. I set mine up where I just pull them in, they're already there.
Hmm.
But you have more random students than I do that will come in and out.
Right. I have students that aren't that that book randomly throughout the week. I have a lot of those. Probably 30% of my students are that.
Yeah, and see, mine are so permanent to the point where it's like maybe 1 or 2 a week that I have mine set up in
Mhm.
tiles
Yeah,
permanently.
yeah.
But yeah, I
But
mean,
that
mm, it was a big change
and
up.
I had to really push Nicole on this.
You did
I had
actually.
to really I'm like, "Nicole, man, it can do this. It can do that. It can do this.
I
This does
was
everything your
overwhelmed.
this is everything your website does.
Oh,
This is
he's
everything."
he's right, he's right. I really balked at it because I was so overwhelmed to the point where I was about ready to lose my mind. And I was just like, "I cannot learn something else." And then it got to the point where I was spending so much time double,
Google
triple,
Keep. Oh my
quadrupling.
god. Google Keep.
Oh my goodness, like, I was quadruple checking things, and then I couldn't remember where was what, and where is this,
Right.
and who was here, and I went, "Okay, Jay, you gotta spend, like, 30 minutes with me. I can't."
But we had you up and running in like 20 minutes. It was the basics. You had not
The
not
basics, yeah.
everything, the basics of student tracking, knowing who your students are and that stuff. There's a way to I mean, The AI lesson memos, that's separate. You got to pay to get that. And by the way, we are not sponsored by Notion, but we
Oh,
would
yeah, no.
gladly accept the Notion sponsorship
Yep.
for teachers. You got anybody else? I don't think so.
Right? No, it's actually quite awesome, and what I liked is that I could use the system that I personally like. I really like using I call them tiles, but the stickies. I like the tiles.
Mhm.
So, that worked out really well for me, the color coding, there's a few things that it can't do that you and I have been very frustrated with, but it
Right.
has more to do with the system is getting there.
Well,
Um,
yeah, we want something it can't do.
yeah,
It's not set up that way. Like, I wish that I could display the students' packages and class dates for them, but I can't because you cannot share a filtered view of a database, and those are databases. They will
yeah,
see everybody. Not that there's anything that could hurt the
nefarious that they could
student,
do.
but it's just that they're going to have to figure out how to sort through all that information, and it's not
It's
worth it.
what
The
we
way
want
around
is we
it
want to lock a
The
filtered
the
view.
way around it is to create a separate database for each student, but don't do that because that is totally unmanageable. If you don't know anything about IT, don't do that. If you know anything about IT, you'll understand that that will be a database management nightmare. Because
Yep.
if you want to make a change on the database, you got to make a change for each and every student.
Yeah,
Uh,
no.
I started doing that just to see, and then I got about 3 students into it, and I said, "Yeah, this is a terrible idea because now I have to make it if I wanna make a change to my database, I gotta do it 85 times. Times
What
2."
I've Yeah, right. What I've done is that I just tell this parents that anytime you wanna see it, just let me know, and I just take a screenshot, I throw it into their memo,
Mhm,
and I just take a screenshot of that student page where it shows all
mhm.
of their classes
Right,
they've had, and they know that we will do that for them, so that solves that problem for now.
right.
I could see in the future them making it where you can lock a filtered view.
I read something that's coming, but I don't know. And the other thing with Notion, I feel like it's kind of blah to look at, to be honest with you, like,
No bells and whistles.
you've only got, like, 3
Black.
fonts to choose from, you can't really color it up, you can't really do anything to it,
It's a database.
that's it, and I will say, if anybody out there decides to start using Notion, be really careful because there's a million videos on YouTube, and people are micromanaging their lives with it. They're doing like a feelings tracker, stuff like that just is a waste of time. They use it for what you need to use it for and get out of there. Because, I mean, I'm a nerd at heart, and I even told Nicole that I have to be very careful with something like this because I'll get
I
in there
went
and I'll be
down
in
the
there.
rabbit hole.
Right, exactly, exactly. You know,
Today. I created
right,
that you saw what I created for the podcast today, that was
right.
a rabbit hole, and I
And
eventually went, "I need to back out."
and obviously Nicole and I are pretty tight, so we make one little change. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, right?
Screenshot send. The other one's like, whatever. Look at this. And the other one's like, whatever.
Right? Right?
Right.
But, like I said, I think teachers should if you have more than, I don't know, 10 students, I think it's something you
Yeah.
should set up.
At least
Because
the free
once
version, if you
Yeah.
can handle doing, if you don't want to pay the $25 a month to get the AI lesson memos, I completely get you there. But this is so much better than using Google spreadsheets and having a Google Drive
Well,
and
let's be real though, you can still do the toggle like we've been doing, and you can
mhm,
still do the memo by
right there.
hand
Yeah,
in there. So it's still
right,
all in one place. You're just not getting the AI version.
right. And if you're doing lessons on Zoom, Zoom will give you an AI summary anyways, but it's
If you
only
pay
for your
for it.
Zoom. Oh, yeah, that's right, you gotta pay for that? I don't know, I've been paying for Zoom
Yeah,
for so
you
long,
have
I don't
it's
know.
only available on the paid version.
Yeah.
Although, I can tell teachers right now the workaround for free. So before I did Notion, I'll tell you right now. So before I got Notion, I have a student on VUV that's an adult, and I need the transcript because of the type of lessons we have. And VUV doesn't do the transcript, right?
Right.
And I didn't have Notion. So this is the workaround. This is how you do it. You get the video and you put the video in YouTube. And then
Oh, so
you have
YouTube
it,
will spit out, right, right.
it'll spit out subtitles. You download the subtitle file and you put that in Chat GPT and you ask that to summarize it and create a memo for you.
You know, and the the that takes time, though, that takes
It
time.
does, but I was only doing it for one student and I
Right.
did need it at the time, but now I don't
The
because I have this.
what I think that as independent teachers, we pay for enough stuff right now,
Yep.
and this allowed me to $20 gone for ChatGPT. Don't need it anymore. Didn't need my website anymore. Uh, I actually spend less now per month just off those eliminating those 2 things and paying for Notion.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
gonna let my website go. I'm gonna let my actually I'm gonna let my business email account go too. I'm just gonna keep the Teacher Cole
really?
one. Yeah,
Uh,
I don't need it. It's the support at. I'm like, why am I gonna use that if I don't have the website and I don't have the other? I'm gonna let it go. I'm just because I have the main one, Teacher Cole's English Corner at gmail.com. I'll just keep the regular one.
mhm.
I'm gonna let that go because Google
Oh, I
charges an
can't let it go. I
insane.
can't. I use it for logins to some of these lesson sites that I use, that I pay
Oh,
for.
I don't use that for logins. I use the teacher.nicole one, but I
Yeah, I
don't use
should
the
have.
other. You
I
can
should
change
have.
them. You can change them before it comes up. I'm not
Uh,
gonna let mine renew. I'm not gonna renew any domains either. I have the main domain that I will keep for Notion, but I have some secondaries that I'm gonna let go.
oh, are you
Um,
gonna try and link up your domain to Notion? I might try and do that because I've already killed my website. I can do that now.
I have a secondary domain that I use because people type mine in wrong all the time, and
Mhm.
I have a secondary that I'm gonna try it out and test it, and if it works, when my main domain goes off, I'll flip it over. Um, I'm changing, like, my business direction, and so my website, I don't wanna keep continually
Your
updating it.
more like your strategy.
Yeah, the strategy and how we're taking payments and the way
Mhm.
I'm doing it, so and that every time I do that, it's a big, revamp of the website itself, and you
Right,
remember I'm the designer and I do all the stuff, so
right.
it takes a long time to do all that, so yeah, I and I'm getting rid of so many things that I'm gonna save a lot of money doing this. For me, it's worth it paying the 24 here
Right,
because it does all of the platforms.
right, right. Yep.
Because, I mean, I'll say the name, I was gonna do Otter,
Right, right. I looked at that. I considered that one a long time ago too.
and it's
Um,
the same price,
right. And you
and
get
it
all
doesn't
this.
do all this.
Right, right. And yeah, I'm pretty
I'm
thrilled
pretty
with
happy
it.
with it.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it
Yes!
again.
Thank you, Megan. Man, I was sick that night. I felt so bad because I was like, "I cannot figure out why this is important." I mean, my brain checked out at that meeting. I was like, "I'm out." Jay filled me in
the
later.
the when I finally understood that they call these databases, and from the loosest sense of the word, yeah, they're databases, but they're not.
Not really.
I'm used to working on Oracle. These are not Oracle databases. There's no SQL involved or anything like that. So
Uh,
uh,
it's in the loosest form it is, and you don't need to know all, like, the deep programming and stuff. I mean,
you don't need to know any programming.
you can
The
ask it for the formula. Now you might have to ask it about 20 different times because it'll tell you
but
stuff it can't do.
you have to have the paid version to ask it,
Ah, yeah,
because
see?
you get 3 per day without the paid version.
But you can ask ChatGPT because I did that
Right,
today,
right.
and it helped me along with this AI. Between the 2 of them is how I was able to get that stuff done today.
Yes, Nicole, I know
Rabbit
I
hole.
just drank beer on the podcast, but it's Saturday night, and I'm in that kind of a mood.
I think we've gone way over time, but,
Yeah.
yeah, so what's the
I
verdict?
think I oh, well, the there's no hung jury. P. Diddy isn't going to jail tonight.
The
We're getting
verdict is
there.
move the Notion, but don't
Right.
do it when you have a million kids like we did. Do it
Right.
now when you've got the
And
smaller
learn
group
it. You
and
have time,
work your way up.
yeah. I was already at 60 students and got 25 to 30 of them slammed on me within 2 days. And I had to learn it all at once and
Right?
onboard all these students all
Right?
at once.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you like we had like what, at least 20 different revisions of the memo site and the things before we got it all nailed down while we're
Right.
trying to teach and figure it out.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It was awful. It was
And then
awful.
I recreated every page until I realized, why am I doing that? Why am I not duplicating it?
Right. Right. Right.
Oh, the
So,
joys. Yes. So I mean, it's not saying that you can't do it. Obviously, if you have a lot of students, you can. We did it.
right.
But also the newer teachers or the teachers that have the smaller amount, I would say start then
Yeah,
and just work your way up.
do your thing that's easy right now. Keep your Google Sheets, and all that the way you initially set up, but start moving to, maybe there's another tool out there that can do the same thing. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. But essentially we turned it into an LMS.
Basically, but an LMS that was actually useful and easy to understand. I don't know
Right.
why, but the LMSs, I cannot
Every
understand them
one
for
of them
nothing,
I've looked at, I went, "What is this? I don't even
right?
understand what this is."
And it
And
couldn't
I
do all
don't
this.
consider myself a stupid person, you know? I'm like, me, if I'm gonna pay for something, uh, it
I
should
need to
be
understand it
intuitive.
right away. Yep.
It should be intuitive. And when you're using Notion, and you're at a, I don't want to say a prompt because that's going to freak people out, but you're at a line and you need to type something. If you're not sure what to do, hit the backslash button because
Very
it'll
much.
bring up a whole list of commands you can use.
But I'm just gonna say it straight out. If you're gonna go to Notion, find somebody who already has it and have them
Mhm.
help you just get the initial stuff
Yeah,
set up. Because once you see it set up, you can see the pathway. And what
right,
I had done is when Jay set me up and I made a copy of it. So I had my original one to play around with. And then I had the one, then I moved it, whatever I did, into the real one. So I didn't mess up the real stuff. And
right.
it made a huge difference for me because I could play around with it now that it was set up and I could see what it was doing. And I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. But starting from scratch, I just sat there and went, I don't know what the hell.
Right. I was using it, to be honest with you, in the beginning, I was using it like OneNote, Evernote, and those are it can do that stuff just fine, but you're not really using Notion if that's all you're doing. If you're just using it to type out a few notes, you're not using it. You might as well just use OneNote or Evernote or whatever else is out there. Apple Notes, Google Keep, which would be my last choice is Google Keep.
The only thing I liked about Google Keep is that I like the tiles, but like I use okay, let's be real. I use Google Keep as like to organize my house as a housewife. Like,
Yeah, right,
I put, like, like, my to-do list on there, my sometimes, like, my grocery shopping list, the bills I gotta pay. I mean, that's the stuff
right,
I use it for. That's really
right.
what I use it for because it works great on my
Something
phone,
that when I'm at the store, I can pull out my phone and look at it.
right?
All right, this is
Yeah, and I
fine.
can go click, click, click. Okay, I did it.
And I'm not even joking, guys. Go out and look on YouTube, and there you're going to see people micromanaging their lives with it.
Well, some people have this down to, like Megan. I mean, wow, what
Megan's is really an in-depth setup, and
her setup
but
was
she's been using it for 2 or 3 years now. You can track payments. I had that set up, and I took it off because I didn't like it. I'll add it back in there at some point.
at
But
some
right
point, I'm
now,
gonna need to track it, but,
I just track it on their pages right now.
for me on the student main page, what I had done is I put down the parents' usernames for when they pay me because I
Mhm.
use Stripe, so I can track it through Stripe. Stripe has the analytics, so
Right.
I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I get screenshots when people pay me on Stripe from either the student or from the Stripe party, I'll just say. And I can see it all in PayPal too. I have a lot of students in China that I've converted to PayPal just because it's
Yeah,
easier
because
for
it
me.
works there now. Like before, they used to have to use VPNs for that, to be honest, but now it's there and it works great. Parents will use
Right.
it.
Right.
The only thing I
But
don't like is still the
it's
fee.
hard for them though. It's really hard because they have to type in the card numbers. Apparently, that's a very complicated thing to do.
I am trying. We have had a week of interesting parent contact. Is that PC enough? Did I do it?
I had a mom. I gave her the PayPal link. She goes, "Oh, I tried today. It's just so hard because I have to type in the card number." And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me!"
I had a parent actually ask me
That's
when they go to they push the button and it tells them to enter their name, and then they ask me if I'm supposed to enter my name. 3 different parents have asked me this, and I'm sitting there going,
what planet are we on?
I know, I'm sitting there, 'cause this is not supposed to be a parent bashing thing, but still, I'm like, when have you ever paid something and put the name of the company you're paying instead of it's your card, so wouldn't that be your name on your card?
Nicole, it's hard. Okay, it's hard.
It hurt
It's
my
really
brain,
hard. It's
and I
very
was
hard.
like, "Yes, your name."
you know, but and it's funny is all the parents that I've been dealing with for 3 years or more, they had no problem. Whatever way I give them to pay, they have no problem. It's all the new ones. And
It's
I'm
all
like,
the new ones that are
oh
having, like,
my
this
God.
huge issue, and I'm like, "I don't remember having this much of a
I'm like,
problem."
man, if inputting a credit card number is difficult, I wonder how you make it through your daily life.
Well, I'm wondering how many times do I have to say, "Copy it outside of WeChat, do not use WeChat or a
Don't
WeChat."
use the WeChat browser.
I mean, you specifically say that, and then, you ask them, "Teacher, it didn't work." And I went, "Did you use the WeChat browser?" "Yes." I said not to use the WeChat browser. "Oh." And I went,
Right.
"So, copy that outside of the WeChat browser."
This it's taken a turn I wasn't expecting.
That was
Sorry, moms, if you ever watch our
sorry.
podcast. This
It's
is
just
not directed at you.
it's been interesting. Well, and how many people have told me they don't know what a VPN is in 2025?
In China, where I think everybody has one. They
Anyways,
gotta climb the wall.
I think it's okay. In our defense, it's 11 o'clock at night. We're a little rummy.
And
He
one
might
of us
literally
is
be rummy. I'm rummy from sleep deprivation.
one of us has had a few Heinekens tonight. I don't know who
Yeah,
that
well, I'm
is.
on sleep deprivation from the dog next door. So, hey,
Oh, thanks for outing me there. Appreciate that.
you're the one who mentioned drinking while you were talking. It's a weird one. You are not rummy. I'm just like tired. Anyways, I think we should probably say goodbye
Yeah,
now. I think we're
wrap it
just
up.
rambling off. So, we're back. This is the getting our feet wet, trying to get back on schedule to at least do it once a week, but we're no longer guaranteeing what day that week in that week. But we will try
Right.
again for once a week. We are back on track, theoretically. So, welcome
This
back.
tonight we are.
This is now episode 1 of season 4. We are starting over with a new season. Let us know what you want to hear about. Tell us what you think. Bye, you guys.
Rock on. You know,
Wait.
oh,
I got to turn it off.